Weather portion of Ag Week now, and the Arctic air has gone in retreat for the time being. That's the main focus. We have a couple of snow chances setting up here by the end of the month, early part of February, and the pattern is such that now parts of the northern plains and upper Midwest may be in line for chances at least at more significant snow than we were during the cold, dry weather of late December and January. Meanwhile, our cold is not quite so cold, and the Arctic air has shifted. It has not evaporated. It has not gone away. A bit about the Arctic air. Polar vortex is not what you think, well, not what a lot of people think. Polar vortex is simply the name we give to that circulation around the pole. And some winters, it's a fairly general organized circulation with higher pressure and very cold air up near the pole, and that's what we get. Other winters, like this one, the pressures up over the Arctic regions are lower, and we tend to get a less well-organized circulation around the pole, and we get intrusions of Arctic air, sometimes way down to the Gulf Coast. But the thing that's important to recognize is in these cold weather patterns, it's cold in some places and very mild in others. Record warmth over Alaska for much of December into the early part of January. Well, here's what's been happening in the last few days. The Arctic air is in retreat, and not only that, it's gone back to Siberia where it originally came back before Christmas. It's also turned very cold up in Alaska. But note there are many parts over the Atlantic and Europe that have gone very mild. So it's not like it's cold everywhere. Some places are very cold, some places are very warm. Our region's a little on the cold side after a mild period last week, but the Arctic air will stay bottled up in the far north. Jet stream a little ambulatory, but it's not blocked like it was during the first part of January, which will give us more variation throughout the plain states and also some chances of snow. The second week, as we move ahead into next week, there may be a brief intrusion of Arctic air, but it won't be cold like it was in early January, and I don't think it'll have the staying power that it did during that time either. As far as precipitation, obviously the weather system in the Midwest this weekend will gradually move off to the east. Next thing we'll have to focus on is the ambulatory jet stream. May give us another chance by about the weekend out into the northern plains. Until then, it's just going to be a little on the colder side, but not so cold as last week. The second week of the pattern, which will be the one just before the Super Bowl, it looks like a couple of snow chances into the northern plains, with the Pacific Northwest becoming wet by the first part of February once again. So over the next 2 weeks, potential is there for some significant snow to cover the plains. It won't be quite so cold, but it won't all be melting either. The coldest weather in the hemisphere is back where it belongs.